All right, so welcome to the On Purpose podcast. I'm honored to bring you Marquis and his story about how he came to Earthwaking Village. So I want to get a little background first. I wanted to see, where did you grow up, Marquis? Where were you born?
I was born and raised in Fort Worth, Texas. Um, Man, my dad was in the military. My mom worked at the military base. That's how they met. I came along in a long time ago, 1978. I was born in 78. My birthday is in a couple of days. I'll be 47. Yeah, I was born and raised in Fort Worth. Uh, Graduated high school, went to college, and I think that's where I found my love for not only teaching, but just being a student, period. Just a student of life, a student of school, a student of the game, period. Like, life is more than just school. And that's one of the main things that I've learned is just being a great student of the game, a great student of life, and being a student of the Holy Spirit. Like God has been so present in my life. It's like I don't give him enough thanks and gratitude.
So how was life growing up in Fort Worth? How was it in in Texas?
Uh, well, I'm from one of the roughest neighborhoods in Fort Worth, and like I witnessed a lot of my friends falling to like gangs and drugs, and poverty was everywhere, and I just had a different vision for my life. So I just started mapping out a better life for me. But while I was in the process of mapping out this better life, I was trying to give so much energy, so much time, so much love to people, places, and things that weren't reciprocating that same energy and love to me. But I will say that my neighborhood isn't just all bad. Um, I never fell to gangs or drugs or anything like that. But I will say that I started teaching right there in the same community. Started mentoring. I
What did
grew up.
you what
I
did
grew
you
up in the church.
so
What did
what
I
did
teach?
yeah, what did you teach?
I teach math and performing arts. Like I write scripts, and I was writing plays for the music department at my old elementary school. I teach the children how to write poetry, how to find inspiration just in whatever you're doing, wherever you are. Kind of, keep up with a journal. Um, but overall, I teach math, science, and the arts.
So how did you get hooked up with Earthwaking? What was your first encounter?
My first encounter with Earthwaking um, it was 2020, and the world had shut down. They were on Zoom like every other weekend doing 24-hour weekend workshops. Like it would start at 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening, couple
Hmm.
of breaks in between, but that was my start and my introduction to Earthwaking. I think I got an email or a message from Jonathan England.
Just randomly?
Hey, a random email, but it was more of to come and join the Facebook group. So I get to the Facebook group and he's promoting his Awaken Life Live.
Hmm.
And I was excited about it because I was into the self-help and the faith-based, but there was something about him that was just real and raw. I don't know if it was the fact that he was cursing so much, you know what I'm saying? Or the fact that he integrated music and dance and fun while we were crying. Like it's like we just went through a roller coaster of emotions, and it was beautiful. Like I stayed for the entire 24 hours one weekend. Um, the next weekend I was telling them, "Hey man, yeah, when are y'all going to Costa Rica? Because I might be in Costa Rica with you one day." Is what I was thinking way back in 2020, but the inspiration was there, just witnessing Jonathan and Kirk just speaking life into me. You know what I'm saying? It was like no pastor, no teacher, no coach, no parent ever talked to me the way they were talking to me and giving life to my whole situation, because by 2020, my dad had died the year before that. Um, I moved back to Fort Worth then in 2020, and everything was falling apart. My relationship that I had been in like 12 years, we just went our separate ways. Like there was no closure in that at all. Like I still get messages from her to this day, and I still have thoughts about her to this day. But there was really no closure in it, but I could feel it breaking apart. And it was kind of hard for me to cope with, because it was like I was going from having everything I needed to not having anything at all, kind of like the story of Job or Ruth.
Hmm.
Like I had it, everything was good, we taking vacations and we raising babies, and everything was good up until it was time to basically just look at each other all day because of this shutdown. We started, nitpicking at the smallest little things, and to get back to the Awaken Life Live, it's like they were speaking to all my pains and all my suffering, and basically showing me how I was creating it myself. It's like, oh man, I didn't think about it like that. So since then, I've just been analyzing every situation I've been in, every heartbreak, every disappointment, uh, every every wound that I may have inflicted on people. Like I was looking at all the times that I went from being bullied to actually bullying without realizing that I was bullying. It wasn't a physical type of thing. It was more of a mental and spiritual war.
Yeah. What was your darkest struggle that you've ever went through?
The darkest struggle. Mm, I would say that it had to be around my marriage to my kid's mom. Um, I had a best friend who came home from prison, and like me, I like once I started having babies and got married, I was more focused on just being a king and providing and protecting for my family, the legal way. Because I was into some illegal things before he went to prison. He went to prison, I put that stuff down, started working regular 9 to 5, and um, just being an overall, just a dad, period. When he came home, it was like I felt myself slipping back into the person that I didn't want to be. And that was like the most dark period of my life, because people started dying, um some from like drug overdoses, and some from gun violence and gang activity. But this particular friend, he was uh, one of those player type of energies that like all the women wanted him because he made a lot of money. Like this was a guy who could come home and see $100,000 quick, and he would always want to come and get me or or receive the energy that I was just because I was always positive. He come around me and we go play basketball, play football, shoot some pool. Every now and then he would get me into some of the activities that he was doing as far as drugs and things.
What kind of drugs were you doing?
I was selling weed, and then it got to a point where I would just hold certain drugs for him. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't sell the drugs. It was like hard, like crack cocaine, heroin. Um, the darkest time was when he came to the house one day, asked my wife to borrow our car. By the time he came back, he was like, um, something just happened. We accidentally shot the wrong guy. This guy died, and I've been living with that and the fact that I was getting a divorce like within like maybe 3 months later, I was getting divorced, and then I found out that he and my wife had uh slept with each other. So instead of confronting the dysfunction, as I've been learning with my distinctions around here,
Yeah.
instead of confronting that dysfunction, um, I let them both know that yes, it hurts everything that we've been through together, but at the same time, I still love y'all, and you know, I don't want anything to do with y'all anymore. But I've been living with those pains and guilt and shame ever since. That friend has been in prison now like 20 years, and I was finally able to get over him all the way and get him out of my system maybe 5 years ago. But my ex-wife, I probably didn't get over her until maybe about 2 years ago. But that was my darkest period from 2005 till about 2015. It was like a 10-year I'm involving myself in something that I had nothing to do with. Um, for me, another dark period was just not being with my children and just being in a poverty mindset. Like I don't have enough, I'm not enough, like I don't deserve love, like just that lonely feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I will say that I disconnected myself from all of that on purpose. On purpose. Like once I got my eyes on all of my dysfunctions and everything that I put myself through, that's when I started peeling back the layers and finding little things that I needed to heal from or replace a puzzle piece that I thought was the truth. I had to take that puzzle piece and put the one in that actually fits, beautiful colors in it. And I've been slowly doing that to where now I'm stepping more into a leadership role within Earthwaking. Now, since 2020, reaching out to them in Earthwaking, I realized that as opposed to helping my family, I was actually hurting them. As opposed to giving them life, I was killing them faster. And that was hurting me more than more than any of those relationships that my family. was hurting because I was hurting and not realizing that I was hurting. Like it wasn't them, it was me. So a year ago, I decided I was like, man, I'm moving to Costa Rica, not to escape this, but to get to my freedom, get to my liberation, get to my sovereignty, and just remembering that I'm a member of the body of Christ, but I got so much shit. I got so much shit in me that I still need to work the kinks out. But it's all coming together, like just like a well devised plan. It's been divine. It's been divine.
So right after Awaken Life Live, that was back in 2020. What ended up happening after that?
I started doing music, and most of the music that I was doing started being more centered around God. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the um the verse that I say when we're in the band, all of those verses came from something that I learned in Awaken Life Live.
Wow.
All of them. They were written from 2021 until right now, 2025. Like, what is that? Backseat Driver? Yes, I wrote that in 2021 after listening to an Awaken Life Live. Most of my music has been centered around just faith based, God based, but the truth, the truth of the matter is, hey, I did some fucked up shit. I did, and I got to look at it like I haven't always been the good guy that I thought I was, and I wasn't the bad guy that I thought I was either. Like I'm just a spirit having this human experience. I'm just being, and whatever I am attracting is attracting me as well. Whatever I'm focused on is focused on me. Whatever I'm even if it's something I don't want. Like so 2021, I started working with different artists, just really trying to dial in this gift that God gave me, but really give the gift back to God. Like in the past I was dancing around it. Like I've been writing music for 25 going on 30 years.
Wait, so you've been holding out this whole time? You only have a couple songs that you're doing in the band.
Yes, yes.
For the
I
people
haven't.
that are for the people that are watching, we have a band here called What the Funk, and
Yes.
Marquis is our rapper. He does rap pieces inside of some of the music that we do, and he's been holding out on us this whole time.
Yes, yes. I've been writing for 30 years, but most of my
Wow.
music has been about that darkness. And it wasn't until I actually came to the Earthwaking village that darkness is what the people need
Mhm.
because we're overcoming it and we're healing from it. And we know that, hey, we have God in us, but we are here on earth to feel all the feelings and to remember that we've always been connected, but there are some slip ups, there are some mistakes that will be made, some knowingly, some unknowingly. And some of those unknowinglies are around relationships with the opposite sex. You know what I mean? Like I was one of those people that I'm okay when I'm alone. I'm okay by myself. I love going out and being around people, but even when I'm out at the bar, I like to just stand by the bar. I don't go to the dance floor. I'll sit over there by myself, drink maybe one or two beers because I know I'm the designated driver. I'm also one of those people that I like to just stay focused on the goal, and the goal is creating a stronger relationship with the divine. Like I'm in a divine union with God and with the Earthwaking community. I'm in
Yeah.
a divine union with God and with the community. It took me actually coming to the community. Now, a year ago, I was selling everything, getting my passport, knowing that I was coming here, not knowing what I was coming here to. You know what I'm saying? It's like I didn't know what I was getting myself into. All I know is God said, "Hey, you're moving."
When did he say that to you?
This was a year ago. I sold my truck a year ago. I got my passport. It came in the mail right before my birthday a year ago.
I remember that.
And I started selling everything, and I started reaching out to Jonathan like, "Hey man, what else do I need to do to make sure I get there?" Okay, man, sign up for the Remember. I came for the Remember in August. So from April to August, I was just preparing myself. I didn't want to tell anybody because everything that I told to people, they either didn't believe it or they tried to talk me out of it. Like my family was like, "No, we need you here. We need you to do this. We need you to do that, and we need you here for this." It's like, okay, what were y'all doing in 2020 before I got here? Because
Mm.
I've only been here 4 years. I told y'all when I got here I would be here 4 or 5 years. I didn't know what I was going to be doing after that, but I knew that God was not going to just drop me in that bucket and just leave me there. And I knew that I wasn't going to drop myself there and leave me there. I didn't want to do that to myself because I knew that just being in that neighborhood, being around certain people, I start picking up old habits again. You know what I mean? Like being around people that have enough drugs to last a lifetime. I didn't like being around guns. I didn't like guns. Like when I was young, maybe, in my teens and 20s,
Mhm.
yes. But it's like, man, after having children, I started getting a new perspective on life, period, on purpose.
What's that purpose now like? Because you've been in the village now for a year. How was it transitioning?
It's been more than I've dreamed that it would be. It's been a beautiful process that's been so painful that I can't put that into words other than I think it's more the pain of realizing that I may never go back and see anybody in my old life, and uh the my main people, my mom, my kids, my grandbabies, I don't want them to forget me or not miss me. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, y'all haven't checked on me. What are y'all doing? Like that's the part that hurts the most about this transformation. It's like I
Hmm.
know, I know I'm where I'm supposed to be, and a part of me wants my babies to just come here and man, I want to watch y'all grow up. I want to be there when you learn how to spell your name. I want to be there when you learn how to tie your shoe. I want to be there when you learn how to ride a bike. You know, that's been the most painful thing. But as far as my transformation, I'm getting more and more inspired to write. Like I'm getting back in the groove of writing songs, writing poetry, writing books. I have a I I published my first book 10 years ago. It's called The Curse of Moko Elementary. That's on Amazon right now. The publishing company I went through went bankrupt though, so I never got a dime from them. I'm not sure what they've done with the contract, if they sold it or anything like that. But now I'm just working on a new book, a new movie, a new cartoon. Like I'm really getting dialed into teaching as well. Like when I came to Earthwaking, I was the one, like before I came to Earthwaking, I was the one who set up the studio time, wrote the songs, made the beats, designed the album covers, decided release dates, and it was just rinse and repeat. But I was doing all of that, uploading to the people. Now here at the village, it's like we have people designated for that.
Hmm.
We have a lawyer here. We have a, a design uh, a web design person. We have a spiritual leader, and we have a vocal coach slash public speaking guru is what I want to call him. But all of that is who I was trying to be back in the old world, and it was
So
tiring.
many hats. Yeah.
And I don't have to wear any of those hats. All I have to do is just create. Like these channels have been created, so I can just create and continue to create. So I've been more inspired to write, more inspired to sing, more inspired to just be a contribution around here. Like I work in the garden. That's crazy because my last job in the old world was at the Botanic Garden. Um, I worked at the Botanic Garden in Fort Worth, just being out in nature. I was healing. That was some much needed healing because okay, that was 2022. In 2021, I had a heart episode to where I don't know if I was disappointed or, but I was killing myself trying to get people to listen to me about what was going on in the world at the time. You know, the world had shut down. So by 2021, they were promoting the jab, and I was trying to tell my people, no, don't get it, don't get it. And I don't know if I was poisoned or if the stress just was overwhelming. But one day I fainted, I passed out, and 10 seconds later, when I came to, I felt a it was like a hole was in my heart. And right then I said, no more, no more. Like I can't worry about what they do, what they think, what they say. I got to worry about what I think, what I say, what I do. And I've just been focused on me. And one of the reasons that I started focusing on me was because I felt myself becoming them. You know, it's like I was almost ready to just give up and say, all right, man, like shit, nothing I'm doing is working, nothing I'm saying is working. So y'all got me where you want me. But God was like, no, I'm gonna break this up. First, I gotta break your heart.
Mm.
Broke my heart, and I could actually feel it. Like I needed to heal my heart. And I went on a water fast. I just started drinking water, and I just got out in nature like every day. I went and got a job at the Botanic Garden and just started healing from the inside, inside out. My soul needed healing. And my inspiration started coming back. My inspiration was healing as well. Like
Mhm.
I was healing in the spirit. And so I went from the Botanic Garden to now working in a beautiful garden that is abundant, and it's it's almost like I'm living a dream right now. Like this was a dream and I'm living it. Like like I have a new family, my brothers and sisters in Christ. Like I have a new attitude. I'm stepping more into a man of integrity. Like I didn't know what integrity really was. My definition or distinction of integrity before I got here was what you do in the dark, you should be able to do in the light. if you won't do it, if you won't do it in the daytime, don't do it at night. Like that's you're out of integrity with yourself, lying to yourself if you don't be who you are in the daytime and at night. And I was doing just that out of integrity. Like I used to work at the school and I would sing in the choir at church and work with the school or the after school program at the local community center. That was my day job. All three of those were my day jobs. But at nighttime, it's like I would be running the streets with my brothers, who I thought were my brothers, who I thought were my brothers. And I just had to take a hard look at my life, and I've just been healing all of that since 2022. So by the time 2024 came, it was like, okay, I'm ready. I need to reach out to Jonathan England. Now 2025 is here, and it's like I know that I'm a brand new person in Christ that's becoming a new person. Right now it's by the month, but I know it's going to become a lot more rapid by the week. It's like you are becoming a new woman every day. Every day you get a breakthrough. Every day, like, man, why won't these demons come up right now? And I see that you have to want that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
have to want the demons to
it's
leave
not
me.
even just it's not even just that though. I feel like I saw this the other day and it's like it's all on God's timing.
Yes, okay.
It's all on God's timing. And if you knew that, you'd wait a bit differently, you know? And I'm
Patience,
like, "Oh, that one hit home for me." You know,
patience.
like yeah, because it's like he's got this all. He's got the whole thing. And us wanting it, us even desiring it is not setting it down.
Mm,
And that was like a boom for me, you know? So, yeah,
yes,
he's got you and it's you're carrying those things so other people can wake up, you know? I'm reminded of the journey that, you know, uh Jesus, the lame man that was sitting outside of the synagogue for 40 years, he couldn't walk and he was a beggar outside of that synagogue. And from our perspective, it's like, why didn't, if Jesus could heal him right then and there, why didn't he do it? He could do it in an instant, like so
right.
quickly. But he carried that for 40 years because everyone that was there for 40 years that walked through those gates saw that man. And
Mm-hmm.
then he was healed. It was like, you don't know all the lives that you're touching. You don't know all the lives that you're impacting, you know? And that's why it's so important when you keep saying this inside of this meeting here is like your darkness, what you
Yes.
went through. That's the most important thing to say to people, you know?
Mm,
It's not about like where it's not about like, yeah, we might be here now, but the whole reason why we're here now is to go back and tell everybody, hey, we got you, you know? Like it's okay. You can come out too. Like I was this and he pulled me out and he loves me, you know?
yes.
So beautiful,
Wow.
so beautiful segue to that is who would you tell? Like if it was your old self, what would be the most important thing you'd want to tell him now? Like if it was an old you running the streets with your brothers that are handling guns and handling drugs and wives and people cheating on each other, what would you tell them? What would you say to him?
Hmm. Man, there's just so much. I'll start with telling myself to remember that God wins in the end. He's already won. The battle is already won. All you got to do is just get through it. Go through it, get through it, whatever that is. And if that's being in poverty, There's a reason that you're in poverty. If that's playing small to someone that, may have more money than you, is that there's a reason that you're going through that. There's a reason that I went through that, and understand that you are loved regardless, and there's no way to disconnect from God. There's no way to disconnect. Even if I were to go to jail, I spent a couple of days in jail, but it wasn't for any of that stuff. It was about tickets and you know what I mean? But
Mhm.
just sitting in jail, as long as I did, it was like I knew coming out of jail, I didn't want to go and do any of that stuff. Go get two jobs. But me sitting in that darkness, know that I'm not alone. I know that I wasn't alone. You are not alone. The younger me, the me now, is with that younger me. Because that younger me is still in here. The 4-year old me, 5-year old me, 6-year old me is still in there. The 19-year old me is still in there. I have a talk with them all the time.
What was the year that you turned around? What was the year that you came to Christ? I mean, started turning around and walking with him, you know?
I would say that would be within the last 3 years. 2022, when I started working at the garden, that was when I knew that I was on a whole nother path. Like
How old were you?
2022, I was 44.
So what would you tell
I had
the
just turned
33-year-old person? You know, don't
33.
yeah, don't wait 10 years, man. What would
Yeah.
you tell the 22-year-old? What
Wow.
what what would you have to say to that person
Mm.
back then to say, "Don't wait till you're 44. Do it now. Do it. What are you waiting for?"
What are you waiting for?
Yeah, what was the choice? Like, what was finally the moment where you're like, "I'm not doing this anymore."
It was when, well, basically, I just wasn't afraid to tell anybody that, man, God is the truth. So I would go back and tell him, man, keep singing songs about God. Make sure you put God in your music a lot more. Take God with you in your conversations. Like don't just talk about God, but be about it. Live it.
Mm.
Because I was trying to tell them about God and they passing me a blunt. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, the God and Jesus and we drinking and we pass out, wake up the next day, like, okay, what happened? But it's like God had to show me that me and show me the me that I could be. It's like he showed me the two different timelines. Like, okay, this is you. You keep doing this, this is where you'll end up. This is where this leads to. And back then, I wasn't listening. When I was 22, I wasn't listening. I was the one trying to sleep with as many girls as I could. I was the one that didn't care if you had a boyfriend, anything like that. Like back then, like I was the one that, I would say, hey man, shit, I don't sell nothing but weed. But one day you might catch me in the wrong house at the wrong time, buying something other than weed and selling something other than weed, just um, faking the walk. That goes back to the integrity thing. Like, oh, in the daytime, hey, this is me. I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy. Remember that. But at nighttime, it's like, shit, we are. Man, I can remember. Well, no. Yes, but the darkness was there with the light. It's like I knew about God, But it was like, man, the devil was so so slick with it, right? So
Mhm.
sweet, so nice, so lovable. Like here, you can have this, like whatever.
Oh,
Ooh,
yeah.
that's
It makes it
good.
sound so beautiful right in the
Yes,
beginning, and it makes it
yes,
sound so great, and it feels so good in the moment, but you forgot how expensive it was and how much
yes,
pain it caused in the end. Like,
yes. That's
that's
what
his
I would go
trick.
back.
That's his trick. He'll dangle everything that your flesh wants right in front of you, but you forgot how much that thing paid in the end, like how
Yes,
expensive that debt is when you do
that's
that.
what I that's what I would go back and tell my younger self. Don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait.
Don't take the bait because the devil is tricky. Like he'll like let's say I leave my wife the next weekend, my buddy picks me up and we go to the club, pick up a couple of girls, bring them back, and the next day we do it all over again. It's like he knew what I was into and he knew what I liked. You know what I mean? He knew that I was into going to shoot pool and going to listen to music. He knew that and he would entice me with that, dangle that in front of me and I would fall for it instead of taking the time to sit back and analyze my life long term. Like right now, yeah, I'm lonely. Yeah, I'm sitting up singing, singing all the love songs that come on the radio, like Neo, so sick of love songs. I can remember singing that, just being lonely and sad and depressed that my wife don't love me and the music industry rejected my first solo album like 2004. I I released my first CD and it ended up in the hands of Universal and Sony, maybe Bad Boy, No Limit Records. Like we were, and even Rap a Lot down in Houston,
Mm,
and none of them wanted it. And just being rejected by the music industry kind of took me on a war path. It was like I just started really talking my shit, started really just popping my shit and writing more and posting more and still there was rejection. Like and I want to say that the Earthwaking Village has really brought me back to the reality that the people need to hear your dark side in order to trust whatever you're saying. Like they don't trust it if it's all God. Like nobody just gets a pass in this 3D realm. Like this is what we're here for. We're born in sin, so we're going to be raised in sin until we remember.
yeah,
And that's where I am right now. Like a lot of my dark is coming up. It's crazy that even when I was at the Botanic Garden, we had this newsletter that would come out every week. And the entire time that I worked there, I would submit a poem. And it was always about the light and the goodness and the beauty of the garden. And one day somebody asked, "Hey man, when are you gonna write some dark stuff about the garden?" I was like, "Oh man, I only fuck with the light. Like I don't even want to look at my dark side."
I already lived it. Let me stay
Yeah,
there a minute.
yes, yes, yes. Let me enjoy the beauty of right now, because man, I'm in a healing process.
Yeah.
My life is dangerous. For instance, I came home from the garden one day. My friends were arguing in my yard. My mom lives across the street. My grandmother lives across the other street. So I park my truck in my driveway and I walk over to my mom's house, and the energy was just heavy. The energy was heavy. I don't know what it was, but by the time I went in the house, I went and grabbed the sage. I lit the sage. I started walking around the house with the sage, like, I don't know what this is, Lord, but get it out of here. And I went and opened the front door. I let it out the front door. I walked to the back door. Before I could get to the back door, I could hear my friends arguing even louder, like they're about to throw hands. I put the sage out, walk outside, and by then, the neighbor that lived right across the street from my mom, he had an AR-15 out pointing at one of my friends slash cousins. And they were arguing and heated to the point where I knew everybody was about to get shot. The Holy Spirit, the Holy Spirit calmed me down. I walked over there and I walked right in between them. Got right in between my cousin behind me and the AR-15 right in my face. This guy was dead serious. He didn't shoot my cousin, but I don't know what came over me and what made me feel safe enough to walk in between this guy and this gun. But he put the gun down, walked in his house. Uh, the guy behind me, who I consider my cousin, he went home to grab a gun. He came back shooting in the air. The other guy started shooting at his van. Like, we're all just sitting here watching this. I'm like, man, I really hate it here. That's what I was thinking in my mind. Like, Lord, is this gonna be the rest of my life? Like, I don't like these people. These people don't listen. These people don't fear you, God. Like, what is this? Like, I fear you, God, but man, these situations I be in that I be drawing myself to is like, man, what did I do to deserve this? I didn't do nothing but just stop and say, man, you know what?
Give
I
me
think,
a plane.
yeah, yeah. I think my auntie had grabbed the phone, called the police. The police want to come and talk to us. It's like, no, man, y'all know this guy has been terrorizing the neighborhood. Y'all, y'all gave him a dishonorable discharge from the military. He came back crazy. He's been in the psych ward 2 times already. And now y'all want to come over here and talk to us about what just happened today. No, he's been doing this. We've been calling y'all for a long time, telling y'all exactly what he's been doing, and y'all don't ever do anything about it. Uh, Maybe a month or two went by, and I came home from work again. I only stayed at home for maybe 5 minutes. I left home. 10 minutes later, that guy was dead right there
Mm.
in, in the yard, maybe 2 doors down, just for terrorizing the neighbor who just got tired of it. Told him, yeah, come on, come get it. He went up there to go and get whatever it was she had, and she shot him dead right there on her porch. I heard the police because I was right around the corner, so I came back home like what happened? She shot that man dead. She ended up going to jail. She hasn't been to trial yet, but the spirits that have been up and down those streets is dark and heavy. It's like I had just had a drink with that guy maybe the night before, had just said what's up to him that day. Hey, y'all doing all right? Drove up the street, saw the woman that shot him. Hey, you doing all right? Within 10 minutes, he was dead. But I think that's what hurts right now, knowing that my children are still back there. My grandchildren are still back there. Like they have God in their lives. Like I had God in my life. It's just that, yeah, it's been rough. Just like, man, probably a month after that, I was dealing with this girl and I saw a red flag every week. Every week was a red flag, and I didn't pay it no mind. I let it go, let it sweep it under the rug. Ah, it's all right. She not my girlfriend, you know. But I was chilling with her after that. Oh, her baby daddy comes. And oh man, he's ready to fight. He's ready to shoot it out, like just whatever. Calm myself down. Like, nah, man, you got it. Like shit, I ain't got nothing. I didn't come here to fight. You can have her. This is what she wants, but you can't tell me not to come anywhere. You can tell her to just leave me alone. If she listens to you, cool. If not, we gonna keep seeing each other. Oh, he didn't like that. So the next week he came back looking to fight again, and I'm just sitting there still the same. Like I don't have any energy for that dude.
Hmm.
But he told me that somebody had ran up on him, robbed him maybe a couple of days before that. He thought it was me and some of my people. I was like, nah, man, we don't. And I told my people to leave you alone, and they did. But a year later, he ended up dead anyway. Just his energy was so demonic, I guess. But death has been so close in my vicinity, like all my life. All my life. My life was just dangerous. But
Thank you.
I thank you for this space though. This place has been a safe space for me to, get a lot of that out. Even cry if I have to. You know what I mean? Like before I got here, I probably hadn't cried in 20 years at least.
You're welcome. It's not it's not easy to find a group of people, community of people that literally just want what's best for you, a safe space for you to go through all of your darkness, the dark night of the soul, to share all the things, that we've endured, you know,
I
and put
love
God,
it though.
yeah, and put God first. It's like we're the closest we've ever been, I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful for people that choose to do the work, the hard work, to look at it, to face it, and then bring it to so many people. Like
Yeah.
you're a beacon, you're a lighthouse for so many people that can go through that, and to choose a different way. You don't have to go through that anymore. Sell your
Yes.
stuff. It's not worth it. The materials,
Mm,
the gratification, the thinking that you need to be their savior, it's just
hmm
enabling.
Right. Right.
It's just
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just enabling the behaviors, it's enabling the things, it's enabling all of the ways that we say, "No, I don't wanna be a part of this," but you're in it.
Yes.
You're
Yes.
in it. And
I
so
was
you
in
gotta
it.
you gotta you gotta take yourself out of it to show a different way. And not a lot of people jump. Not a lot of people say, "No more." Not a lot of people create a new way, a new narrow path to go down. That path to hell is wide, and it feels
Yeah.
like heaven. It feels like you're going to heaven at first,
Right.
but
Right.
you're really headed to hell. But
Right.
sometimes the road to heaven feels hard and it feels like hell, but you're climbing through that and you're dropping through that. All that darkness, all that mud, all that stuff that the world put on you so you can actually be in your spirit. So
And that mess is the message
yeah.
that I convey to the people through the literature and liberation arts builder. It's a course that I created here with the Earthwaking Village. Earthwaking University, and Peter. Um, it's the Lit Lab, Literature and Liberation Arts Builder. It's a shameless plug, I know, but if you're watching, yes,
What
um,
how can they reach you? What is it called again?
the Literature and Liberation Arts Builder, the Lit Lab, and that is through Bridgebucks, right.bridgebucks info. I'll give you that info.
Yeah, and I'll put it in the description link in the box down below so you guys can have access to his course and the mess to message.
Yes, yes, definitely. I'll send you all of that information. I definitely thank you for this interview. I needed it. Needed to get a lot off my chest, but I wanted to give the flowers where they're due to not only the Earthwaking Village, but to you and your growth and everything you do around here. It's like it's inspiring.
Thank you, Marquise.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. It's an honor and a privilege to hear your story and to be a witness of this. And I just thank you for being open and sharing your heart and sharing your dark spaces with the world so they can have a way out. You know,
Yes.
you went through all that so no one else has to, and, or choose, have the opportunity to choose something different. So
Hmm.
thank you for choosing a life of purpose. Thank you for
Yes.
choosing that with putting God first and allowing Him to move and have his being inside of you. I really appreciate that. A lot of people say, "Oh yeah, I'm doing God, but let me keep all my sins. Let me keep all my iniquities." And you got to set all that down. It,
Yes.
that's not where it's at. You got to walk like him. He says, "Walk like me, follow me." He didn't say follow
Yes.
your heart. He said, "Follow me." You
On
know,
purpose.
Be
On
on
purpose.
purpose. On
Yes.
purpose. So again,
Absolutely.
all of the links and all the resources and support for you is going to be in the chat. I thank you everyone for showing up and watching this video. And thank you again, Marquise. And thank you, Earthwaking Village. I love
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome, and thank you. I love you too.
Till next time.